Howdy everyone, NTV here with some more Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury. Last episode, we defeated Kid Buu and saved pretty much the entire universe, but defeating Kid Buu opens up a lot of new things, so let's talk about that. But first, I did some grinding off screen, so my characters are all level higher, all level higher. They're at a higher level than they were before because grinding is a thing. But anyways, we're going to be doing pretty much just exploring old areas because once you beat Kid Buu, also here at the West City Z-Mart, a Hercule exhibit is available after you beat Kid Buu. But yeah, areas have stronger enemies now, so we're going to do that. We're going to go over to the first new area, which is going to be over at Natade Village. So let's go. Yeah, we're going to be revisiting old areas because they have stronger enemies, and some areas actually have some things like Hercule exhibits and Z-Fighter exhibits for us to get. Actually, I think it's just Z-Fighter exhibits. I don't know. This is in post-commentary, by the way. Also, this is our first time seeing a gray level barrier, and for that we need to fuse into Gotenks, which is why I switched over to Goten for this. But yeah, let's do this, and I'm going to be fast-forwarding through all of these areas because why not? Right. So, of course, just break this, and let's go. So, I'm going to be going through Natade Village, or the northern area of Natade Village twice, because, of course, there was that level barrier with Gotenks, but there's one after this with Gohan, where you need Gohan to be like level 165 or something, which I think is the highest level you need a character to be. But yeah, this is a good way to get experience, and actually, this whole area, once you have the final, or once you open it up with Gohan at level 165, it's pretty much the best training spot in the game, so there is that. And also, since I'm fused as Gotenks, like this is a really good way to level up both Goten and Trunks, so there's that. Of course, I'm not going to be showing all of my grinding because that's just way too much, but yeah. And these enemies are really easy. We're seeing like almost endgame enemies. Like endgame enemies are like the weird General Tao Cyborg thing and that Shadow Colossus thing. Shadow of the Colossus. Huh. But yeah, that's pretty much like it for this area, at least for the Gotenks portion. And I'm gonna leave and show it off as Gohan. Also, I think this is being sped up like 500%, so like 5 times faster. I think. I might be wrong on that, but yeah. Okay, so let's just leave here. You can also get some pretty good equipment just from grinding because you'll be fighting a lot of endgame enemies eventually, and they all drop some really nice stuff. Okay, I think we're done with this portion, so let's move on to Gohan's portion. Yeah, these are the endgame enemies I'm used to seeing. Also, at some point here, I find the Saiyan gloves, which is like one of the best items in the game. It's one of the best. It works together as a set. Like just finding the Saiyan gloves by themselves is kind of useless, but yeah, I think we'll get there pretty soon. Not here, but the next portion. Yeah, right there. Those are the Saiyan gloves. And again, individually, the Saiyan items, there's the Saiyan armor, Saiyan gloves, and the Saiyan boots. Individually, they're pretty crappy, but I'll show off what happens when you get all of them. They are pretty rare, too. But yeah, anyways, since we're just doing some speeding up, I want to talk about a portion of the game that I really can't show off, so I might as well just use it to talk, or use this episode to talk about it, and that's the multiplayer option of this game, which, yeah, this game has a multiplayer option. It's really weird. I remember, actually, I think the box that you get the game in that's packaged with, like, it advertises that this game works with the wireless adapter for the Game Boy Advance that comes, like with Fire Red and Leaf Green. That's a lie, because I have tried that, because I actually knew someone else that had this game when I was younger. I knew a couple people, actually. But, the multiplayer of this game is really interesting. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've played multiplayer in this game. There's an item trading option where you can just trade, like, I think just basic items like healing and energy restoring items. I don't think you could trade equipment, and if you can, then that'd be pretty nice. But there's also a battle mode in this game, and it's divided into 2 sections. And the first battle mode of this game is where you play as your characters that you have in the game itself, like with their equipment, experience, and their attacks, like at whatever level they're at. Like if you have Goku with Kamehameha level 3, like he'll have that when you fight against someone else. And they'll of course have their own characters. And at some point it'll eventually just become one-sided, because you're gonna have like one person is just gonna have really good equipment and like the other won't. But if you win in a match in multiplayer, I think you get money from the player that you beat. I think, again, it's been a while since I've done this, so I don't exactly remember. But the more interesting aspect of the battle mode in multiplayer is that you can actually, like, there's a mode where you can play as pretty much every significant character in the game, like from the beginning of the game in like all the way up until the end, where you can even play as like Pan and Oob. I'm pretty sure you can, at least. But the thing is, there's nothing special about any of the characters that you play in that mode, since you can play as pretty much anyone. Like, all they have is the standard Ki Blast. I don't think like their stats are different or anything. Maybe the endgame characters have better stats than, like, say, like a good example is, like, I think you can play as Pikkon, and you can also play as Broly. I'm pretty sure, like, Broly, since you encounter him later on in the game, like, he's gonna have better stats than Pikkon would. I might be making that up, but yeah. And also, like, the characters that you can play as, it's completely dependent on the progress that you've made in the game, so there is that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Multiplayer in this game is, I mean, it's interesting, but chances are you're not gonna find anyone to play multiplayer with unless, like, I don't know, it's like finding people to play multiplayer with in pretty much any Game Boy or Game Boy Advance game is really, like, I found it really difficult because no one I knew had a link cable until like later on, and like this was before wireless communication was a thing. Like even though like this game claimed that it could use a wireless adapter, it couldn't, so it was just less convenient having to lug around a link cable everywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I wish I could show off multiplayer in this game, but I really can't. There's no way for me to do that, because first off, like, no one is gonna have this game, really. Like, if you have this game, like, you're not gonna find anyone, like, within, like, a reasonable distance that has this game that you can play with. And if you have a link cable, like, good on you, because, like, again, no one I knew had a link cable back then, like, except for, like, one person, so, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got a Z Fighter exhibit there. So, yay, that's a thing. But that's pretty much it for the multiplayer aspect of this game. It's, again, like I've said before, it's an interesting thing, but it's not really worth showing. And again, I can't show it. So, yeah. Anyways, Pilaf's Castle, I think you can actually get a Z Fighter exhibit here. I mean, I recorded all this footage before doing this commentary, so I should know, but whatever. Also, I'm really glad I was able to find at least one of the Saiyan equipment, like, on screen during recording, because finding them is a pain. Like, there's also, like, finding information for this game on the internet is really, really difficult, just because it's not well documented. Like, you don't know what enemies will drop what, and like stuff like that. It's just not properly documented. So finding stuff, like information about this game, because I was looking for stuff about the Saiyan armor or the Saiyan equipment, and I just could not find any information other than people saying, oh, it might be here, it might be in this area, like I found this enemy dropping it. Like, there's no like online database that has accurate information for any of that kind of stuff in this game, so yeah. Oh wait, no, we do get Hercule exhibits in this episode, besides that one in West City. There's right over here in the Fukuro Forest, there's this ninja here. If you give him bananas from airships, he gives you Hercule exhibits. I think you could do this up to 6 times. So, yeah, that's a thing. Extra Hercule exhibits are cool. But again, I wish like more information about this game was properly documented. Just because it would have made this a little bit easier to talk about, like just finding equipment and what drops what. Because I was looking for the pink Batman shirt that Vegeta wears in the anime, because that's an equipment that you can get in this game. But I never got it at all during this LP, which is a shame because I like it, and I was going to equip it on Vegeta. And also, I think this is like as strong as the enemies get in this area, so there's that. But we're pretty much almost done. I think the last area that we explore is the Barren Wasteland. So yeah, the Barren Wasteland is also a pretty good place to grind, just because you'll be seeing a lot of the same enemies that you see in the portion above Natade Forest. So yeah, Barren Wasteland. It's right below the lookout, because the lookout is restored after you beat Kid Buu. So there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, actually. So I'm gonna make my way back to the flight circle, and yeah, let's go, Goku. And with that done, we are here in the lookout. I feel like this was a pretty good episode. Like, a lot of, I don't want to say progress was made, but a lot of stuff was talked about. So yeah, the next episode, which is also the last episode of Buu's Fury, the last bonus episode, we're gonna get the remaining Z Fighter and Hercule exhibits, because that's all that's pretty much left for us to do. So with that done, I'll end off here, and see you next time for some more Buu's Fury. Later!